All right, so laying down in Shavasana, and we're going to start the class like we end it. So for some of the poses, you're going to notice that I'm not going to be in it. I'll be kind of sitting up. But starting in Shavasana, just slow the breath down. Slow everything down. Feel the breath moving in and out of your body. Hear the sounds around you. And just start to let the body soften down into the mat. And what I mean by that is ease the back muscles, unclench anything you may be holding, abdominals, glutes, neck, shoulders. Just let everything ease and let go of tension. Slow the breath even more. See how long, how many heartbeats you can draw out the inhalation and the exhalation. And then just start scanning the body. Feel the top of your head. Feel the back of your head resting against the mat. Feel your face softening the forehead, the eyebrows, cheeks, and jaw. Feel the neck leading into the tops of the shoulders. Become aware of both of your shoulders and arms from the shoulder to the elbow, to the wrist, and to the fingertips. Feel both of your arms totally at ease. Feel the back body and your sides, and then the top of your trunk from collarbone all the way down past the belly button, expanding the belly with your breath. Notice the glutes, softening them, and then feeling the legs starting at both hips, down to the knees, ankles to the toes. Feel both of your legs at the same time, softening, easing any tension. And feel the whole body. Feel the breath. Hear the sounds around you. And just be at ease. And just to start warming up the midsection for our next pose, just a little bit of breath work. So as you inhale, inhale through the nostrils, all the way down past the belly button, expanding that belly. And as you breathe out, Force the air up through the lungs, out through the nostrils, and draw that belly button in. See if you can totally exhale. If you feel like you're going to cough, just ease back a little bit, but inhale fully and exhale fully, working those lungs, getting into the bases. So just 3 breaths. So here we go. When you're ready, start inhaling. Expand the belly, hold the breath for a moment, and just do this on your own time. There's no rush. And then when you're ready, let that inhale go, making sure to draw that belly button in, fully exhaling. And then just repeat that twice more. Really active, engaging breath. When you're done, just return to the normal breath. Letting body quiet just for another moment. And then rolling over onto the belly. Moving into one of our favorite poses. So if you find that a quad stretch is a challenge, maybe just grab a strap or do it on the side body. So you can reach back, resting the head down. On the belly is a little more challenging. So as you come onto the belly, lift that left leg, send it out. Lift that right leg, send it out. And then on the right elbow, hand across the body, elbow under the shoulder for support. Reach that left hand back to left forefoot. And then draw the heel in towards your glute, your buttocks. So just draw that in. If you find it's too much of a back bend, just rest your head down onto your forearm or pillow and let it stretch. If you're on your side, just make sure that you're well supported so you're not going to fall forward. And then reach that hand behind and just draw. Try and keep the left knee back behind the right knee just a little bit to get that stretch. We're going to stay here for a full 2 minutes. So just breathe. If you need to, release that leg down, draw it back in. So today we're going for a very full and luxurious body stretch so that hopefully by the end of the class, you'll feel loose, able to start your week beautifully stretched. Remember, focus on the breath, even, calm breaths. Okay, release that down. I know it didn't seem like 2 minutes, but I talked through a lot of it, sorry. But just bring that foot, same foot back up and rotate the ankle one way and the other. If you were doing the stretch on your side, maybe just move to your belly for this part. And point and flex the foot. And then setting up again, same leg. Just reach back one more time for one last minute. And this time, if you're on your belly, lift the leg, send the knee away from the hip, and draw that heel in. If you are on your side body, stretch the pelvis forward as if you're moving into dancer pose, and draw that heel in. We're just trying to maximize our stretch today. Just remember, don't hold your breath. Keep breathing. And just for the last few seconds, just see if you can draw that heel in a bit more as you inhale. And then exhale the foot out. Putting the hands under your shoulders, curl the toes, and just come on up into tabletop. So while we're here, just curl the toes under very gently and just ease the hips back as far as you're comfortable. If you like, use a pillow between the glutes and the hamstrings to sit back as well. That's quite lovely. So we're simply going for a toe stretch at the moment. And then when you're ready, lift, wiggle the toes, and come on back down onto the belly. Perfect. And we'll set up for quad stretch on the other side. So tops of the feet down, toes pointing away from the shoulders. Lift each leg, stretch it out. And then setting up. Left shoulder over left elbow, hand across the body to keep you stable. Reach the right hand back to the right forefoot. Just let it stretch. So when you are leaning on the shoulder, if you find that's a bit much, try to make sure that you're not out of balance. So shoulder should stay over the elbow. If that's not comfortable, just release the elbow, head down on the forearm, and bring the foot in. And again, if you're doing it on your side, make sure your head is cushioned well and that you keep that right knee just behind. So it's not an exaggerated stretch, but it's a good stretch. And again, just ease the breath, breathe through it, focus on where you're feeling the stretch, and just let that stretch go. Mind over matter. Tell your body to stretch it out. Perfect. If you need to deepen the stretch, draw the heel in or press the pelvic bones towards the mat, lengthening that muscle out. Release that down. Just stretch that knee and then bring the heel out, rotate the ankle one way. The other way, wiggle those toes. Bend and flex. And then setting up one more time. Draw that foot in again. And this time, just see if you can go a little deeper. Try lifting the leg off the ground, stretching that knee away from the hip and putting it back down. Then drawing that heel in. And just for the last few seconds in the pose, see if you can bring the heel in just a little bit more. As you inhale, draw it in, pause, and then exhale the foot out, placing the hands under the shoulders. Inhale up to tabletop, and just move through cat-cow. And as we move through cat-cow, really emphasize, so maybe do it slow motion, 2 breaths, coming up, rounding into cat, 2 breaths, coming down, dropping the belly into cow. Really emphasize it, stretch as much as you can, feel the motion of the back. And I know this sounds funny, but take pleasure in the movement of your body. We're all blessed to have an amazing body, heals itself. We can abuse it for long periods and it still functions well. So let's give it a little love and just really feel how beautifully it moves together. And then from here, just very gently, top of the feet on the ground, just rock back and forth. So a very gentle movement of the hips, just rounding the back and coming forward. When you come forward, elbows shouldn't pass your fingertips. Just being very gentle on the wrists. Just a bit of stretch here. As we prepare for child's pose. And then coming up to your knees just for a moment, rotate those wrists one way and the other. And as we do this, when you come into your child's pose, that's our next pose, maybe place a blanket under your knees if you're going to find that uncomfortable for an extended period, because we will be in it for 3 minutes. And just maybe decide if you want your arms outstretched, a pillow under your head, and take a moment now, grab any props that you need. Stretch your knees out, one, and then the other. And then when you're ready, something under the knees, perhaps a cushion to hug, whatever you need. Widen the knees just a little bit, bringing the great toes or your big toes together. Sit the hips back onto the heels. Bring the torso down, forehead to the ground, and extend those arms if that feels good. If it doesn't, maybe stack fists. Rest the forehead on the fists. You can also bring arms back along the body. And if you find for any reason that your knees are bothering you, don't be shy. Put a pillow on top of the calves, under the glutes. Help your body to create space in the joint. And just rest on the elbows, head down. So while we're in child's pose, we're just going to do a little bit of a visual exercise here. So as you hold child's pose, picture yourself trying to stand in this pose. So imagine your feet on the ground, trying to round the spine, and just think about how much stretch there is in the back of the body, along the back of the calves, hamstrings, around the glutes, on the back. It's a gorgeous long stretch of the whole back of your body, from the head all the way to the heels. The other beautiful thing is that it's a little bit of a challenge to breathe. So we're toning our respiratory system, So if you'd like, as you breathe, pause just between the breaths. So inhale, pause for a heartbeat. Exhale, pause for a heartbeat. And then as you hold the pose for the last minute and a half here, just focus on the breath and listen to what's going on around you without any attachment. Very gently, take a moment, place hands under the shoulders, ease up into tabletop. And from here, just wag your tail for a moment. So that just means bringing your hip to the right, look over the left shoulder, and switch. Then once you feel like you have some movement back into your spine, ease onto your back. We're moving into reclining tree. So we're going to start opening up our front body a little bit. We started with the quad stretch. But when you lay down into tree, just feel your shoulder blades move your shoulders until they're comfortable. Extend out the legs. Take a breath. Just make sure you're comfortable, that you don't feel fidgety. And then bring the right leg up so that the sole of the foot gently touches the inner right knee. And then just let that leg open. So again, if you feel like you have to hold your leg up, just place a pillow under the knee so that you can let it rest and not have to tighten the glutes to hold the leg or the thigh muscles. And once your leg is totally comfortable, add the arms. So for this particular pose, we're going to interlace the fingers if it's comfortable for you. Lift the head gently and just rest the head in the hands as if we're laying in the grass without a care in the world, blue skies, sun shining on us, birds singing. If that's not comfortable for you, just place a pillow under your head and let the arms come out to the side. The purpose of that head and the arms back is just to stretch out the area from the pecs, so the top of the breasts outward into the arms and into the shoulders. Also stretches a little bit in the triceps to the underarm area. But you want to be comfortable here. Then just breathe. That's all. In the last 30 seconds or so here, just release the hands, wiggle the fingers, open and close the hands, and then just palm up, let them rest down onto the ground, and continue to breathe. Very gently release that right leg down, keeping everything else the same. And just take 3 beautiful breaths, inhaling through the nostrils. And as you exhale, breathe out through pursed lips and just let any tension go as you exhale. So 3 breaths on your own pace, then return to the normal breath. Since we have palms up, feel free to say, I'm worthy of any gifts you care to send my way, universe. Health, friends, love. And then from here, we're going to do three sets of 1 minute in 2 different poses. So walk the feet in, and just before we do that, just rock the hips from side to side. Because we've been in the same pose with our hip open, just making sure everything's reset and balanced. And then using your peace fingers or some kind of strap or pant leg, reach down, hold it onto the big toes, and just move into happy baby. So again, variations, hold on to your hamstrings. You can have the knees bent or straight. You can hold the side of the foot if you have arthritis or gout in the toes. Strap is beautiful as well. You can adjust. And then just play with the pose. Try bringing your knees in more, straightening the legs, maybe rocking a bit. Have fun with it. Happy baby. So happy people. That's what I'm going to call it. Happy people. Let's bend and stretch and have some fun. You try bringing your feet together, heels in. Don't forget to smile while you do this. And I know I've teased you before, but if you can put your toes in your mouth, we're going to head straight for Shavasana for the rest of the class. And then when you're ready, release it down. Heels down. Walk the heels in towards the feet. Walk the heels in towards the glutes. And then pressing the palms down, walk those shoulder blades together. And inhale, lifting the hips into bridge. So supported bridge is quite lovely as well. If you find that you're just not comfortable, tuck a pillow under that lower back to help keep the hips up, maybe 2, a rolled blanket, or just as a reminder how high you need to keep your hips off the ground to enjoy the pose. So stretching out the front line of the body from the rib cage to the knees. A little bit of a glute work, stabilizing core. Not totally in, but it's a nice way to stretch out of happy baby. Inhale, lift the hips a little higher. Press down through those feet. Perfect. If you have a prop, you can go ahead and remove that. Take a nice deep breath in, lift, and then exhale. Take your time, slow the breath. Soften the glutes as you bring the hips down. Let that back very gently contact the mat. Draw those knees in, and we're moving back into happy baby. So just widen those shoulder blades again if you like. Reach down, hold those feet. Move into happy people. And again, if that's just not good for you today, just rock the knees back and forth, or hug the knees into the chest, or hug the hamstrings, let those heels dangle. So again, a mental exercise as we hold this for the last 30 seconds. Imagine standing up straight, reaching down, holding onto your toes as your head knees back between your knees, right? Or you look at the ground. Gravity changes how we can do these poses. So, and then release it down, soles of the feet to the mat. Shake out those hands, wiggle those fingers, and rock the knees from side to side. And we're going to move into reclining tree on the other side. So get your pillow or anything that you like. Pausing at the center, soles of the feet on the ground. Just walk those heels out very gently, extending the legs. And then draw the sole of the left foot gently to the side of the right knee. And let that left leg roll open and outward. Again, supporting under the knee if you feel like you can just soften the glute and the leg. You don't want to be holding your leg. You want it supported and stretching. Perfect. Then when you're ready, this time, hands over the head. And if you find that's not comfortable, you can actually put a cushion on either side and have a nice deep bend in the elbow. If you're comfortable, you can just have the arms over the head. And if that's still not comfortable, just bring them out to the side, keeping the hands a little bit lower than the shoulders. So basically we're doing tree pose, just laying down on the ground. So let everything soften down towards the mat, so then just slow the breath here. Let the lower back curve away from the ground. Breathe into the belly. Nice deep breaths. Calm and quiet, but deep. Releasing the arms down. Very gently, let the leg extend. Just resting the hands on the belly. We're going to take 3 cooling breaths, since today is going to be a hot one. And for that, all you need to do is curl your tongue into a straw, if you can. If you can't, just purse your lips and sip the air in. So inhale, and then exhale through the mouth. If you can't curl your tongue into a straw, no problem. Just So 3 breaths on your own time. Hands on the belly, breathing into the belly. Just 3 breaths, and then return to your normal breath. And rolling over, gently ease yourself up to a seated position. I'm going to give you your choice here. You can come into a wide-legged forward fold or a seated forward fold. So if you need to stretch your hamstrings, if you feel like they're a little tight, I would highly recommend a seated forward fold. If you feel like you need more of a leg stretch, inner thigh, I recommend a wide-legged forward fold. So whichever one feels right for you today, come into that. Walk whatever extra you might have away from the sit bones so that you can feel them nicely grounded. And then inhale. And as you exhale, let yourself melt forward. Not trying to send the chest forward, nothing like that. Just melt forward until you feel the engagement. If you're in a forward fold, soft knees. If you're in a wide-legged forward fold, you can let your toes roll inward. Then just stretch. And again, if you want to, you can use props. Just lean forward in a very soft way that allows you to stretch and not have to hold the body up. And if you're not sure which one you like best, alternate. So breathe for a few into a wide-legged forward fold, and then come up and settle yourself into a nice seated forward fold. We'll be here for another 2 minutes. Inhale up. And bringing the feet together if you're in a wide-legged forward fold, or just drawing the knees in. Reach the hands behind you, fingers pointed backwards. Draw those shoulder blades together to open the chest, and then just rock the knees from side to side. And if you feel like your glutes are a little tight, sit up a little taller. You get a little bit more of a glute massage. Whatever you need right now. And moving into deer pose with the knees to the right. Let the knees, sorry, I'll just move over here so you can see better. Let the knees come down and sit so that you're sitting on your right hip for the moment. And then walk the left knee back. So gentle version is left knee touching the arch of the right foot. If you'd like a little more stretch, you can bring the leg out so that it's a 90 degree and bring this left knee back so that it's 90 degrees as well. So whatever works. If this doesn't work at all, just keep rocking the knees back and forth, maybe laying down. But sitting up tall, you should feel the stretch in the left hip. It may be a little bit uncomfortable. Just sit up tall for a moment. Beautiful inhale. And as you exhale, bring your chest down onto that right inner thigh and just tripod the arms for a moment. So soft elbows, but just tripod the arms. We're using our body weight to open up that right hip. If that's too much, just ease up. And if you'd like to add more, so tripod is where we're going to stay. But if you want to add more, if you feel like you're just not getting the stretch you want, come down to the elbows. And if that's still not enough, you can come all the way down, bringing the left elbow over the right knee for a little more twist. Just bring the head a little closer to the ground. Your left hip will be elevated, so don't worry about that. Just make sure there's no discomfort. If you find the left knee, if you have a harder floor, you may want to pat under the left knee and ankle. Just breathe here through the twist and the hip stretch. Now that we're here, for the last minute or so in the pose, focus on softening the pelvic area. Release those glutes, the lower back. If you can, release the pelvic floor muscles just a little bit. Soften the quads. Ease the back and just let yourself twist. And gently lift up to the tripod position if you were down. And just for a moment, turn the head left to right. So look at each shoulder. And then bringing the face to center, just look up and down. And then sit up tall. Perfect. Straighten out the legs. And just give them a massage or shake them out. Give those knees a little bit of attention. And just shake them, move them around, move those feet. And then drawing the feet back in, hands behind the body. Just rock those knees from side to side. So when we do that, we're not just moving our hips, we're also moving the muscles of the lower back, moving the glutes, using our shoulders. our wrists. Now the next time you come to the left, release the legs down, come on to that left hip, and just set yourself up. If you need to, even lift the hip, resettle it. And remember, gentle version. It has the legs close together at the front of the body, hands supporting. More stretch. You can bring your foot out in front again. I recommend propping if you have a hard floor. Then just sit up tall. Feel it in the right hip just for a moment. If you want to feel it more, you can actually turn to the right as well. And we'll do that in one class. We'll do a really big hip class one day. But lift up, smile, exhale, breathe. As you bring the chest down, just tripod the arms. So again, this could be a tripod, or this can be a tripod. Whatever it is, just stay here. Let the hip adjust. Let your body weight start to stretch things out. And then again, the options are to come down onto the elbow and to turn more to the left so that the right elbow is right near the left knee and come down. But again, as a reminder, for the last minute and a half while we're here, soften the glutes. Ease that lower back. Breathe kindly, but full breaths. Soften the pelvic floor, the quads, so that you can really engage in the twist. Tripod is a twist as well. But then just breathe. Hearing the sounds around you without attachment. Very gently lift the torso, coming into tripod if you're not already there. And this time, gaze up and try and bring your chin to your right armpit. Inhale as you bring the head up again, gazing up. Exhale, bring the chin to the left armpit. And then gaze forward. And while you're looking at the ground in front of you, just squeeze the eyes closed. Squeeze your whole face as if you've just bitten into something sour. We're all looking down, so don't worry. And then open it wide as if you're super surprised. Okay, so open the jaw, open the eyes. And just do that one more time. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, open everything up. And then just walk the hands in, very gently bringing the feet in front of you. And just take your hands, warm them up, and just rub your face. So rub your eyes, unless you have glaucoma or contacts, or just rub around your eyes. But just and along the hairline, and along the back of the neck, just at the hairline, behind the ears. And then laying down, come back into Shavasana. So let's take a long, beautiful stretch before we settle into Shavasana. Just stretch anything out. Maybe take the next few seconds. Is there something that wasn't stretched enough? Maybe hug the knees in. Whatever you need to do to get comfortable in Shavasana, just do that. But as you settle the body down, getting into Shavasana, maybe with a blanket, pillow under your head, just start to slow that breath back down. Draw it out, pausing between the breaths if possible. Hear the sounds around you, maybe traffic going by, somebody in the house, the heating vent, whatever it is. Just acknowledge it. Let it become white noise. Then just ending as we started. Soften the whole head. So your face, the scalp, the neck. Ease the area between the neck and the shoulders. Feel the arms from shoulders to elbows, to wrists and fingertips. And just let them rest comfortably on the mat. Feel your torso, back body warm against the mat. Both sides, and front body from collarbone past the belly button. Soften your glutes and lower back. And feel the legs from hips to knees, to ankles, and your toes. Soften your whole body and just breathe. And just before we end the class, excuse me, just bend one knee and then the other. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra at heart center. And for the hardest pose of the day, send yourself one kind, loving thought without judgment. You're not sure to say, I love you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, 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 love and respect. Namaste, everybody. The divided me sees the divided you.